everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing on the YouTube, on iTunes. Leave us a review, help support us on Patreon, Twitter at Battle Rap Resume. Get in touch with me on the comments, battlerapresume@gmail.com. If you want to come on the show, if you want to recommend a guest, you want to cover something, let me know. Yeah, just share, just help support in all the ways you can. You've heard me say this 100 million times. We've got the Facebook group as well, all that other stuff. And yeah, really excited to get into today's guest. He's one of the most exciting battlers on URL, an incredible puncher, and he has possibly the greatest name in the history of battle rap. Joe, how's it going?
What's up, man? It's going good.
it's really good to have you on, man. And I've been a little confused going back because you've had a few names, haven't you? It's been Joe, Little Joe.
Yeah, it was Little Joe at first, man. Mm-hmm. That was like, you know, when I was just like battling locally and all that. That was it.
Right. And making that move to Joe, I guess, was when you went on URL, right? You changed it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I just thought I don't know. I felt like it was like so ironically, like it just fit me good. It's just a simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I mean, I don't rap simple, but like just the look I got and like just. I don't know. It just seemed right. Just Joe. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. There's something quite, I don't know, classic and rustic about it to a certain extent, and like it's a, you know, it's a gift for name flippers. So in the franchise battle, you kind of, which we'll get to in depth in a bit, you sort of correct him because he says that you started battling. You got into battle rap with Total Slaughter. You say that's when you started actually, you know, writing that sort of stuff. So what were your early experiences with battle rap? How did you first get interested in it?
Yeah, I mean, I was into it before that. I don't really know I can't even put my finger on like when the first time I watched a battle, but like I was watching battles back when like Conceited was hot, like when he was battling a lot, like, you know, and Conceited and Sue Surf, like those are some of the early battles I watched, like early Surf, early Conceited, Old Hollow, like when he battled Arsenal, like you know, I was watching it for a while. I had been intrigued by it for a long time. You know what I mean?
And was it with Total Slaughter that you started to put pen to paper, or? Yeah,
pretty much the way that went, man. It's kind of crazy. You know, Joe Budden's one of my favorite rappers in music. You know what I mean? So a friend of mine had ordered the pay-per-view or whatever, and we had all been to his house, and he was like, you know, as we were watching, he was like, man, I want to battle. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll battle you, whatever. You know what I mean? So we each took like 2 weeks to write and actually took it serious, and we battled in front of a bunch of people at where we work at.
Right.
And it was just crazy. Like, it was just something just to do. Like, it was just for fun, you know. But like, I smoked him. You know?
Right.
I mean, you know, and it's like, and he was like, "Damn, bro, like you should really like do this."
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So I mean, the Terry F battle comes out September 2014. So when was that battle at work? Was that the same year, or?
Yeah. That was. I mean, they put that footage out pretty quick. That was like 2 weeks before that it actually happened.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I'm always interested, Joe, when we have people on, especially Americans who, you know, they're in leagues that we might not be aware of, or, you know, it's intriguing to see your eye battles, whatever, you know, coast. I mean, talk to me a little bit about Barbarian Rap League. Like, where is it based? I mean, it's still going, isn't it? It's still uploading stuff.
Yeah, it's bigger than ever right now. It's Barbarian Rap League is based out of Columbia, South Carolina, where I live.
Right.
You know, when I first got into it, it was, you know, we still had, you know, a lot of big turnouts and a lot of people were fans of it, but, you know, nobody was really on in battle rap. You know what I mean? But as, you know, over the years, not just me, but a few of us have progressed to get to do PGs. And I mean, they really built it out of nothing. I mean, because South Carolina is not a battle rap state. You know, when you think about battle rap, I mean, the South period really, but like, especially South Carolina, so they really built it up to be something. I mean, now they produce like really top tier talent from there.
And you know, this battle then with Terry F, how did that happen? Was it just make sense for you to get in touch with them and ask for a battle, or?
Yeah, I mean, basically the way it went was, you know, we figured out who who ran the league, and we just got in touch with them and said, hey, I want to battle. So I submitted like a little video, like a 16-bar video, just so, you know, just to prove to them I can actually rap. Yeah. And then they set me up with Terry F.
I said, I fuck with real G's, so I don't gotta keep a 9 tuck. I just keep bars that mess with your brain, that's a mind fuck. My boy called me this morning. He said, let's chase some bitches tonight and try our luck. I said, man, I would, but I already got some pussy lined up.
He was new. I was new. That was both of our first battles. Both of us were, our first battle ever on stage, at least.
And
so,
I watched this the other day, and the guy introducing it probably has the worst microphone ever. It's very hard to hear what he's saying.
Oh yeah, the footage is awful.
Yeah,
you could barely. Yeah, the footage is really rough, man. You could barely hear anything. I haven't actually. I tried to watch that battle like one time, and I was like, all right, I'm not watching this no more.
Yeah.
But it's rough.
It is a little bit. Like I say, I like watching these early ones. They're always interesting, but it was a bit. It's especially Terry's second because he uses the mic, and it's very hard. To make out anything there. But I think still, Joe, there's a lot of, promise. There's a lot of punches there. You sort of, you like to scheme, don't you? You have that sort of scheme thing. Run up in your hotspot with 4Gs and unlimited text. Ain't that a plan? Like, it's a lovely end to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would consider myself a puncher, but that's not it. Because I do feel like I can scheme well. And use word. I mean, I feel like I word play and schemes. I probably punch 90% of the time, to be honest with you. But that's just how my mind works. I don't try to be a puncher. It's just how it is for me. It's just why I come up with punchlines more often than anything else.
And what is your writing style? Is it stuff you come up with at work? You sit down and think, or?
I don't really sit down and think. I come up with lines just throughout the day. Throughout days, like I'll see something or I'll. Just something, and I'll jot it down on my phone. Like I'll just, I'll whatever. I mean, like for instance, if I see, I'm driving and see a mailbox, and just something pops in my head, I don't know.
Right.
I'll just write it down, and basically I'll go back to it, every so often and put lines together. I mean, I don't really sit down and write as much as I sit down and put together ideas that I've come up with already. You know what I mean?
And I mean, there's some good stuff. Liam and his friends on the floor, like sleeping. It's not. Again, it's not something that we're going to sort of pour over. I mean, you guys battled again, didn't you? You had like a rematch.
We did have a rematch. Yeah, that was cool. I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, we just, that was when we had the rematch. I mean, there was a point in time, man, where that was my last battle. I was done.
Right.
That was it. I just rematched Terry, and after that battle was over, my mom was like, I was literally thinking to myself, okay, it was cool to do this, but I'm moving on.
Right. I mean, why?
I just at that point in time, I didn't take it as serious as I do now. Not even close, to be honest with you. Like back then, it was like I'd come put my rounds together like 2 or 3 days before the battle, if that. Like I didn't really care that much. I mean, I didn't see it as something that I could ever do. I just wasn't that interested. So I said, all right, I'll do the Terry battle one more time. We'll rematch, and then I'll just go about my life. You know what I mean?
Okay. And I mean, you battled quite a bit though on the Barbarian Rap League. Like between you battling Terry the first time and then you rematching him, there's looks like 8 battles in between. So you're getting pretty busy.
Yeah, I was battling about every month. I mean, because I liked it. I mean, I liked performing. It was fun, but I never really looked at it as, I just, it was fun, and that was about it. It was a hobby. It was like, okay, I'll battle next month, sure. Who do you got in mind? And then I would, just put some stuff together and get on stage and do it. I mean, it was cool for me. But that was it at that point. At that point in time, it was just like, okay, who's next, whatever type of thing. You know what I mean?
And just looking at the verse track, you battled in one other league. You battled in Lyrical Gladiators. I mean, what can you tell us about that briefly?
Yeah, that was basically a card that was set up where a person, Truth Watson, who's actually part of my team, was battling, and I was like, I want to get on the card too. So I pretty much just had my league owner contact them and set me up with a guy named Checker Fred, who's over there at the time, and we just did a little 1-rounder. I mean, that was my first out of town battle at that point. I wasn't that far away. I mean, I went from South Carolina to North Carolina, but still. Yeah. It was my first time, not battling in front of my hometown. So that was interesting to me. I enjoyed that one a lot, honestly.
And was there anything in the back of your head like, I want to go into bigger stages, URL or otherwise? Were you happy to stay in these leagues, or?
There was always I always knew I had talent, especially when I really bared down. The turning point for me was when I found they were having an event where Norbs was coming down.
Right. And
I was on the card already, so I was going to battle regardless. When I found Norbs was coming down, I said, you know what? let me just put everything I got into this battle and see if I have what it takes.
I've been off my rocker. Find this bitch, let the ratchet raise her like she lost her father. The Larkin got her. Meet her in the street and dump the nickel once I park and spot her. Meet her in the street and dump the nickel once I park and spot her. I'm rude as fuck. You got some height on me. That shit don't matter when the Ruger tuck. I'ma still kill you. How I'ma do it? Just think about the fact that I'm using drugs. Cause everything I need will be in the arm when I'm shooting up.
It's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. In my head, I just thought, okay, Norms was there and you were kind of new and you sort of showing off for it. But was that, I mean, because you see a lot of this, don't you? You see a lot of these leagues when Norms is there scouting and you know, watching these things going down. Was there any added pressure? Because I mean, it's the guy from URL. Anything in your head there, or?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it pressure as much as motivation, because I was so ready for that battle. I mean, I've never been more ready for a battle in my life than that one, probably to this day still. I mean, I was, because I told myself I'm going all in for this one. Like I'm going all out for this battle. I'm going to write my 3 best rounds. I took like 2 months and just every day put them together. I really worked hard on those rounds. So come battle day, I wasn't even really that nervous. I was just thinking to myself, okay, we're going to find out if I'm good enough today. That's about it.
Right.
I knew my stuff so well. I wasn't worried about choking or stumbling. I mean, I knew my material so well at that point.
And what is your rehearsal process? Do you just sort of repeat it, or?
Yeah, I'm more of a I remember better by hearing than seeing. So I don't really write my stuff and read it. I just record it. I record it on my phone and just listen to it. But honestly, the way I get my rounds now is mostly just saying them over and over again. And I just say them a lot throughout my day. Whatever I'm doing, I just say them. And I am blessed. I'm blessed with a very good memory.
Right.
So
Right.
It doesn't take too long to memorize a round, honestly.
And I mean, I've spoken to a lot of battlers about this, and they always have different, takes. Like you quite physical. You know, you move a lot. You spell out your. I mean, especially in the Holmesy battle, I think you spell out the punches really, really well. Is this something you rehearse, or is that more just in the moment how you're moving?
The Holmesy battle was probably the first time I actually rehearsed how I would say things and what I would do. Usually, it's just I know my lines and they'll come out. I'll say them how I say them, but for that battle, especially after the Dougie battle, I really had something to prove, and I was like, you know what? I mean, that battle, I really rehearsed everything. I mean, how I was going to move my right arm and left. You know what I mean? Like, everything detail-wise, I had planned out.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, your material in this, Joe, I have to say, is incredible in the I Am Spoken battle. I think I saw this quite a while before you debuted on your. I remember someone tweeted, I think it was with the Dougie, it was the card you were on, and people were like, look at this, there's literally a guy called Joe, and like people were just sort of, whatever, retweeting it. And I sought you out. I was like, who is this guy? And I remember watching this in my old flat, weirdly, and reading. I mean, long barrel, squeeze the nose and blow like I'm trying to make my ears pop.
Yeah. Yeah, that when I got the PG, I mean, right after my spoken battle, Norris pulled me aside and pretty much said, "All right, we're going to do this," because it was a good performance. It was just but I actually had my first PG was against Ish Mula, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it never dropped.
Oh.
I did a PG, and not because I'm telling you right now, that battle was amazing. That was a great battle. There was an audio issue where. Yeah, like one of Ish's whole rounds didn't get on the didn't pick up. So, that was on the same card as when like Jack Boy Maine battled Drugs.
Oh yeah,
and Snake Eyes battled Big Hand, whatever. Yeah, we were on that card. That was but it never dropped. But that was my first actual PG, and then Dougie was after that.
Oh man, frustrating that must be.
It was because I had a good performance against Ish, and it was on an actual stage. It was in Black Bear in New York, which is like where like Rum Nitty and Ill Will battle. Yeah. So it was a packed house and everything. I was very happy with my performance in that first PG. So when I found out we weren't dropping, it was deflating. But then I had Dougie, who was who still is, but was a name, at that point. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just, obviously they liked me, so I'm going back regardless if they drop it or not.
And I mean, did you kind of take any bars from the Ish battle into the Dougie battle, or?
No, I didn't take anything, but mainly because a couple lines got quoted on the internet. My favorite line that I had in that battle was I said something like the cannon will blast and line them up, and the auto pick his whole team like he missed his fantasy draft. I absolutely love that punch, but like somebody quoted it on Facebook and all that, so I was like, damn, like I don't want to ever get caught. I don't want to ever reuse bars, you know what I mean? And so I wrote all new material for it because I figured if there's one person who was in the building for Ish who remembers one of these lines, and I say it again, they're gonna put me on. They're gonna put it on blast, and then I'll be known for that. You know what I mean?
And I mean, just get back to the spoken battle. You know, it's probably no surprise. You are white, as reminded in a lot of battles. You know, you have a great line in the first. White boy drawn on his face like he passed out at the frat house. I mean, is this something you're sort of? Because I mean, it's going to get mentioned, isn't it? And it's kind of a novelty to some people. Are you aware of this when you're kind of putting your rounds together?
Yeah, I know it's coming. I mean, it's every battle. To be honest with you, man, I kind of like sometimes I forget about it.
Yeah.
I forget that I'm a white guy in a predominantly black sport. You know what I mean? I don't think about it nearly as much as my opponent. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I'm just interested to hear your take because
but yeah, I know it's coming.
yeah, it's kind of it's a given to a certain extent. But I mean, some of the stuff, Joe, that I really like of yours is like it's powerful, it's punchy, but it's kind of out the box. It's sort of there's a bit of lag when I'm trying to understand actually what the bar is, and then when I get it, it's so powerful. So when you're like, before he could blink, he sees the 12 flashing, like the power went out.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I pride myself. My biggest thing is I want to be known for having creative punchline. I want to be creative. I don't want to be one of these dudes who says lines you've heard before. So, and that's the challenge for me is coming up with lines that I've never heard. And I come up with a line that I feel like might have been said. I call about 5 or 6 people I know in battle rap, and I'll say, "Have you heard this before?" And I got to have them all say no. I refuse to say a line that's been said before. I don't like that.
No, that's good because I mean, are you aware of Shocks the Rebel, by the way, out of interest?
What's that?
Have you heard of a battler called Shocks? He's from Don't Flop.
I've heard of him, but I haven't seen any of his battles.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I'll send you a link. You need to watch him because he's similar style to you, very heavy punches. But he just battled a guy called Gemini, and Gemini's entire first round against him was quoting bars that apparently he'd stole, or concepts that have been reused. And it is a tough thing, isn't it? It's a terrible feeling, I suppose. You're not doing it on purpose, but you want to strive to be unique when you punch, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel like some battlers aren't as adamant about it as others. I am. I mean, I need to come up with new stuff, interesting, creative lines. I want to impress. I don't want to just be like, oh, that was all right, that was pretty cool. Like I'm trying to make people be like, wow, that's the goal. Is the pen,
And I Am Spoken, unfortunately, kind of slips up in his first. I mean, what is that like as an opponent? Like, when someone's choking on you, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've had a lot of battles, and that's probably the only time someone's choked against me, man. I mean, I've never have someone choke against me. At the time, I wanted him to get it back. I wanted him to get it back. Because Spoken's my boy in real life, you know what I mean? He was a friend of mine before that battle. But, the fans in our hometown wanted to see that battle really badly, so we agreed to do it. I mean, but, yeah, I wanted him to get it back. I don't want to see an opponent choke. It's a cheap way to win, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the whole battle is fantastic, and must have been a great feeling then. Okay, the Ishmael thing didn't go quite to plan, but having Norb having someone established in the industry acknowledge your talent must have been great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, I was in shock for like a couple of days after the fact. Honestly, just like when we talked, I was like, damn, I really like at this point, I really might have what it takes to be on URL,
And was that all? I mean, that was always the goal, I'm guessing, to get to those stages.
Well, yeah, honestly, and I wouldn't even say it was always the goal. I mean, in the back, it's like, everybody who plays, say you play high school basketball, you want to be in the NBA,
of
but
course.
It's not like, not everyone's like, yo, it's NBA or bust for me. Not everyone has that attitude. And I didn't. It wasn't like, yo, I got to get the smack. But once I found out Norb was coming, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this smack, or I'm not, but I'm gonna give everything I got. So at that point, for that battle, yeah, it was URL or bust. Like it was like Norb was gonna love this. I already knew he was. Honestly, I felt very confident in that battle.
Yeah, I guess if you're sitting on material, I mean, the third as well is really strong. You end even something like move silent with the piece, like a monastery. Like,
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think probably the best line I've ever. I think the best line I've ever had in my career was in that third round. When I said, "All you'll see is blood unspoken" at Tyre at the documentary album. That's a true triple if you think about it. I love that line so much.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is crazy. I didn't even catch that. Yeah, that's fucking great. I mean, even like Son scared of the shotgun, like Queen's Flip. Couldn't get
that whole setup. Yeah.
The sneak diss punch as well, indirect, is fucking. The whole "you are what you eat" will clearly not when I turn you into a vegetable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, you do punch, you are funny, but there's comedic elements, isn't there? But it's more of the punch, isn't it?
Yeah, and people tell me because I am I'm kind of a goofball in real life, but for some reason on stage I just snap. I just have like this angry, persona. But I do want to try to incorporate a little more humor and a little more personality into my rounds as time goes on. I feel like it would help, and I feel like I can embrace certain things that I don't. And
so we get to Dougie.
Chest shot, switch the cloth to a hospital gown. This. What are they talking about? Stop fucking playing with me. And wake up, too. Yeah, you have to fuck with me. Hold up. Two more, I'm done. Chest shot, yeah. Fuck with me. Chest shot, switch the cloth to a hospital gown. This piece of mine finna take a piece of mine. Y'all know white boys can't dance, right? So when I'm swinging arms, doing Dougie wrong, don't be surprised.
I'm a huge fan of Dougie. I think Dougie's awesome. I think his battle against Chess, his amazing battle, his battle against Gwitty. It's a bit of a shame, really, on the URL that he doesn't seem to have, taken to it for whatever reason. And it was interesting because you coming into this, it was him coming off the Twerk battle where it wasn't that Dougie wasn't good. It was that Twerk was just a bit of a revelation for people, wasn't he then?
Yeah, Twerk was he just was a star. I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
There's certain people that just come along where you're like, this kid is special. So it really, no matter what Dougie did in that battle, he wasn't going to get the spotlight. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Dougie. I think Dougie's fine. I like Dougie. I'm a fan of him. I like his style a whole lot.
The cloth is definitely different. I can confirm, even overseas. And, I mean, obviously you battled Ish before, so it wasn't necessarily your first time on the URL stage, but compared to the Holmesy battle, the crowd aren't necessarily as fucking with you as that battle. You have to encourage them to get with you. Did you know it was going to be a slightly tough road in terms of reaction here?
I knew in the first minute of my first round.
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of knew when I was in the building because it was we were the last battle of the night.
Oh right.
And it was a packed house at first, and as time went on, the crowd started thinning out a little bit. And by the time it was our turn, it was like, and shouts to We Go Hard. I love them. I mean, it's a great lead. It was all We Go Hard. So I'm thinking to myself, damn, man, they're not gonna like me. I mean, they're not, even if they love something, they're not gonna give me the love they might want to because they want their man to get on. I get it. It's Dougie's PG too, and they want to see Dougie, get on the big stage. And I'm not saying they were biased, but I do feel like they overreacted for some of his lines and underreacted for some of mine. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, I've got no skin in the game. I watched the battle, and I agree. I think some of your stuff is definitely slept on. I mean, you start off by calling him a bit of a clone. Says "ratchet" in every bar. A wet T-shirt contest came to expose this watered down Chess.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah, and I kept telling myself in my head as I was rapping, like, just the footage will be forever, man. Like, I'm not, it's okay. Like, just try to keep going and get everything off because, the building, the battle in the building only happens once. It only happens once, and then the footage is forever. So, and that's the thing about with me and Dougie is that when we, my URL stock was looking bad. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to be invited back.
Right.
Until the footage dropped. As soon as the footage dropped and the fans started saying, wait a second, he might have actually won this battle. this and that. Then URL called me and was like, okay, we're bringing you back.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's a classic comment, isn't it? Bars quoted and fire emojis, and just that is the life and death of a lot of these. And I really like Wigger fall after one hit, Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I thought that was dope. I like the line.
Yeah. But most people are remembering when I'm swinging arms, doing Dougie wrong. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, I they didn't like that one. There was something wrong.
Yeah,
I felt like that had to hit. I mean, I thought that was a dope haymaker. I wrote that bar and I was like, man, this is gonna shake the room.
Yeah,
I knew it would. I couldn't wait to get to it.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, you should say you preface it with, white boys can't dance, right? So you're sort of asking a question, acknowledging whatever was, and just going for it. Even just like homeless work, give this bum a couple of bucks when I spray the windshield.
Yeah. I mean, I was punching in the setups. That's what I pride myself on. I pride myself on having no filler, and I felt like I was punching in almost every line. But it is what it is. I mean, it's because they don't have to like it, man. Because the people outside the building liked it. When they saw it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a great clash, and I think. If you were just to judge it purely on reaction, then yeah, Dougie would take it. It's not like the crowd of Baron or anything. They are giving you some props. Jazz the Rapper is loving it. Rome, DMV as well. Loads of other people are giving you the respect you do. But I think that people got a taste really of what you were bringing here, and ultimately what we're after is the originality, as we say before. And I don't think Dougie quite has the kind of real pinpoint sharp writing that maybe he'd showed in previous battles compared to what you did here.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, some people are everyone has their strong points. Dougie's not his pen is not, he's not known for the pen, but his delivery, I mean, especially being in front of him, and his delivery, his projection is amazing. His delivery is great. His believability is great. So he has qualities that I don't, and I have qualities that he doesn't, and he is a very strong in certain cases. But, I also feel like I almost overwrote for that battle a little bit. I mean, some of the lines I wrote, I knew they wouldn't catch. I mean, there was a couple of lines in that battle that were really complex. Like I had a Fresh Prince line that is super complex.
Oh, the Nia Long.
No, yeah, the Nia Long line. I'm talking about. I had a line in my third round. I don't know if you watched the Fresh Prince or not.
Yeah, but, I'm aware. Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of it, but not too in depth. So.
Yeah, see, I like there was a scene in the I pretty much depicted a scene that you had to have seen.
Right.
It was really complex, and I basically ended with, when Will's pops left, it zooms in on this statue he bought for his dad, and so I ended with with a scope, and we'll zoom in and see his statue on the table. Like it was super complex, and I feel like for Holmesy battle, I still wrote fire lines, but I wrote lines that they could catch on sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot more immediate.
And it's not even dumbing it down necessarily. It's just writing for reaction. I mean,
And I mean, talking about TV show, I've always got a lot of time, Joe, for Doug bars. You talk about being wavy off the top. Roger that.
Yeah, I like that one. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, obviously he's Dougie. You've got to go for the Doug bars and stuff like that. But what is it like? There's always like Hey Arnold, Doug. Like cartoon bars? They're so popular, aren't they?
They are, and I rarely, I don't even watch cartoons. I stay away from a lot of those kind of bars. But that one I had to say, that was one show I liked when I was a kid was Doug. So I was like, all right, I got to do something with Doug. I mean, shit,
And going from Barbarian Battle Leagues, like it must be a great feeling, like battling on a PG. Like it must have been awesome.
It really was. I mean, just because I had such a good support from my state, like everyone was behind me. I mean, South Carolina has like four or five leagues now, and everyone from every league was supporting from a distance that they weren't there, So it was dope to have that kind of like, be the man, be the one who was able to get there and do it,
And how long was it from the Dougie battle till the Holmesy battle?
It was a good 3 or 4 months. I think, yeah, and actually, like, I found out I was coming back, but we didn't have an opponent picked out, and Norbs actually came down to we were in North Carolina, and he was watching an event that I was at, and Holmesy was on stage just wigging. I mean, he was smoking I forget who he was battling, and he was like, "You want him?" I was like, shit, settle up, man, whatever. You know? So we kind of chose on the spot, and I was like, damn, Holmesy's fire. So
yeah, this battle is fucking incredible, unbelievable.
Kid doctor, get the check up or shit get physical. I got little patience. I'm walking around with a filthy blade and he went in dirty, came out clean. Rehabilitation.
Like, I appreciate a lot of people listening to this show. No offense to you, Joe, might not be aware of you, perhaps, and I want to urge them to watch this battle, in particularly your first round in this battle. Like, again, people listening will probably be aware of Bear Solutions and Lazy Ass Jack. They're like sort of don't flop whatever rappers. And I was around there chilling out the other day, and we were just watching battles, and I put this on, and they were just blown away. And like, we were watching the first round with one of them, and the other one came in a bit later, and we paused the battle, and we were like, oh, okay, we'll just bring it back to the first round. But we realised we were like 9-10 minutes into the video, because the amount of reaction you get, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Like 4 haymakers in a row. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just like, first of all, me and Holmesy is my favorite battle to date that I've done. It's such a good battle. I watch that battle all the time. I love that battle.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at the difference between me and Dougie.
Yeah.
And me and Holmesy, and it was a 180. I was just I was like, wow, they're really fucking with me this time. Like, what, it's just different. Maybe it's because they knew who I was. I feel like the crowds, if they don't know who you are, they don't really, it's not the same. Like, they knew who I was this time because me and Dougie had dropped. And that's my only thing I can come up with, because it was just like the reactions they were getting, but just loving it. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I was shocked.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I've watched a hell of a lot of battle raps, I'm sure you have as well, and I can't think of many other moments, I mean, not to kiss your ass too much, where there's so much reaction for, like, I love when you hold the 4 fingers up as if to say, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, it's only 4 bars. I mean, yeah, it was great. It was the perfect timing too, because I don't remember who was before, but there was like 2 battles before us that weren't that good. So the crowd was waiting for something. You could just feel, and the energy in that room, like the crowd was so packed in there for me and Holmesy.
Yeah. The atmosphere is fantastic. It looks awesome on cam. Where was it filmed? It seems like a really cool sort of spot. That
was at the Honeycomb Hideout in. And there's a lot of events go down there, man. Like,
yeah, I've seen quite a lot of PGs go down there. Yeah,
it's a dope little spot, man. I love it there. I love battling there. I battled Dougie there and Holmesy. Oh
yeah, that's where Gluezy battled Reaper Rel. Did they battle there?
I think that was a different place.
That was a different place. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Speaking of Reaper Rel, he's there. Gluezy, Mr. Wavy, Vadafly, Prep, Drake. Everyone's there. Which, of course, people who can really appreciate this sort of stuff are there. Interesting to see Jack Boy reacting to a lot of your stuff, considering what he would say later.
Yeah, man. Shouts to Jack Boy, man.
Okay.
He was liking it, man. I mean, yeah, the amount of names in that building, man. 'Cause you can't see on the camera, but Hollow the Dawn was in the building.
Oh, shit.
Rum Nitty was in the building. The Saga, Mike P. I mean, it was like star-studded. I was looking around like, oh shit, like, It was crazy. It was surreal.
You kick off with a name flip. I mean, Holmesy obviously is a gift really for that. Like, you live by the train station. Sound of those tracks bring down the value of Holmes' development. I mean, that's so strong.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like I always try to start off with something strong so I can get the crowd on my side, and I thought that was a good way to get it going. I just thought it was a good.
Yeah.
I thought it was like almost a guaranteed reaction.
Yeah, it's just it's witty. It's very very good. And already you're sort of shouting over the crowd. You sort of have to repeat the Purell at the hands of me, trying to fight infection, which is, I mean, a pull to the shoulder. I've got to find direction. That's just madness.
Yeah, I thank you. Yeah, I was same thing I always try to do. I was just trying to punch in every line. Like, I don't do 4-bar build-ups. I try to punch in the build-ups. And just so happened they were liking all of them. So the rounds on camera took like 10 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
I only wrote 2:30.
Yeah.
So, it was wild.
It's crazy, man. Like, it gets to the point where they're hanging off every punch, knowing it's going to be fire, and it is fire. So I mean, you go forward into the father in a box, and when you do that, that's my confession. Vardafly, his eyes like roll back in his head.
Yeah, he liked it, man.
Yeah.
And Vada's my man. And
Oh yeah.
It was dope. I mean, you don't see it when you're doing it, but when you watch it on the camera, it's so cool to see these people reacting, like, you know, because it's a blur in the moment. I mean, when you're battling, you know, you don't really looking around. You're just like, all right, what's the next line? I think about it in my head, you know. But yeah, watching the back, it's like, damn, they really were fucking with it.
Yeah. And like, it's genuine. It's not. You mentioned We Go Hard before, and it is a bit gas sometimes, and it can kind of almost ruin a battle to a certain extent. It can make it a bit long or whatever. But with this, even the reactions are really fun to watch because they are totally genuine. You know, people are kind of taken up in the moment. I can't get over Walk Around with a Filthy Blade, When in Dirty came out clean, Rehabilitation, the way you deliver it. It's so fucking good.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I was excited to say that one, man. I don't even remember when I thought of that, but I was like, yeah, this is the one.
I mean, a lot of people quoting the, shaving with the cereal, I'm late for work. Again, similar to the 12 flashing, that's just a bit of a kind of, you know, out of the box sort of one.
Yeah, that was probably that was one that I got a lot of love for. I still have people like Chef Trez, who's my buddy. You know, every time I see Chef Trez, like, yeah, you still late for work, man. Like, he loves that line, man. Oh yeah, that line has a lot of impact. I thought it was
but it's like when you say late for work, the way you step to him as well to put the full stop on the end, it just increases the power.
Yeah, I was definitely that was all adrenaline, man. I was feeling at that point when I had the crowd. I was like, I was in another world. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the battle rapper dream, isn't it? To spend time on these bars and get the reaction they deserve.
Definitely, especially for someone who takes pride in what they're writing and wants everyone to catch and appreciate it. It's like when they're fucking with it, man. It's no better feeling at that moment.
Yeah. I mean, we can go on and on with this round. Really, I think this first round is one of the rounds of the year. I think in pure just, you know, punch quality, I think it's so high. Even like Mr. Potato Head, pull arms out and stick a nose in your face. Just like all that Toy Story shit, like, you know, it works.
Yeah, man.
And Holmesy does a magazine dog bar in the first, and you sort of shake your head. Is that because you knew you had the one in the second?
Yeah, I was kind of playing defense too a little bit, you know. You know, sometimes I'll shake my head and I'll say a bar is ass when it's actually good. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I do give props to. I'm not the type to say it's something. I mean, I'll tell someone something's fire when we're battling. But yeah, I knew I had a magazine line and I thought mine was better. So
yeah, I agree.
And at that point, I was like, that's not good enough because I got one coming. You know what I mean? That's how I was.
I mean, you talk about play defense as well. So, I mean, when he's rapping, you sort of put your hood up, you cross your arms. Like, it's like a conscious strategy, is it? Or
and that wasn't even planned. I just at that, I don't know. It was just something I did. It was just something I did. I just put the hood on. I was like, all right, let's hear this. I didn't see any way he could beat my first. I just didn't see it. You know, and I went first. You know, and I was like, after I went, I was like, yeah, he's not beating back. If he does, this is gonna be the best battle of all time.
Yeah, I almost feel sorry for Holmesy just because it was such a monstrous first. It's like, what can you really do?
Yeah, I mean, Holmesy's rounds were against. I was just on fire that night, and not even toot my own horn.
No.
I was on fire that night. I was in a different zone. Like, he would have beat most people with those rounds. Those rounds were really quality. They were great. I thought.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing that's sort of about battle rap you can't really plan for. You don't know what they're going to come with. You know, it could make you look better, could make you look worse. And yeah, your second again is really strong. And you say Dog ate the magazine. Ain't far fetched to say he needs a bone replacement. It's just, yeah, very, very, very clever. Really, really like that. And another bar that everyone references is your Get Out bar, which is just a room shaker.
Yeah, that was my biggest reaction. I mean, that was my biggest bar. Maybe ever, honestly.
Yeah, I guess from what I've seen, yeah, I think because I think after the first, it was like a powder keg, really, and that just kind of, you know, lit it up. Yeah, I really like little homes in a box, like Monopoly.
Yeah, and I had the board game scheme coming, so I just kind of threw that in to start it off, but that got a reaction in itself, you know. You had homes like that line.
Yeah. Give this. I guess he's heard so many home flips that he sort of appreciated, some more thought in it. Bitchin' Holmes, like a peeping Tom, and I mean, man, it's like after this battle, what was everyone coming up to you? What was it? How was the reaction?
Yeah, after the battle, it almost felt like the night I got my PG, like similar. Like it's just I was getting love, and Beasley had pulled me aside and pretty much like told me, okay, like you're done with the PGs. You know, we're gonna put you on a Born Legacy.
Crazy.
And I was just like, that I was on cloud nine. I mean,
yeah,
it was just insane. I couldn't even, I feel like I worked hard for it, and it was like a moment that I want. Between Ishmula and I not dropping and Doug Crowd not messing with me, it just felt like it was all worth it at that point.
Yeah, definitely. And did it take long to drop from it being filmed to coming out on YouTube, or?
We were the first battle to drop from that event. It didn't take too long. I would probably say maybe a month. Yeah,
and
3 weeks too.
The obviously reaction has been stellar. You must be over the moon really with just the online feedback as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially when that battle dropped. I mean, my inbox and my everything just was going crazy, and it translated. The battle translated really well on the camera. You never know. Sometimes, it'll be so great in the building on camera. You're like, but that was just as good. It was just as crazy on camera. So I was like, damn, like this is going to get me a lot of new fans. That's what I was thinking.
It's the reason a British guy's got you on his podcast right now. Was that battle? Like, yeah, it just absolutely bowled me over. So, I mean, we'll talk about Born Legacy. So, was it meant to be Jack Boy and then became franchise? Were there any other opponents in the mist, or?
No, we were trying to figure it out for a while, and then when we didn't have anything locked in. Jack Boy was supposed to be after franchise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when franchise had done what he did with Brooklyn Carter, he had a great showing. That's when P was like, okay, we're gonna do the franchise one. I guess they wanted to make sure he was good to go. You know what I mean? But then we locked in, and I was cool with it. I mean, he was a good opponent. I like franchise.
Oh yeah, and
this ratchet will fuck a franchise up. It's the Kardashians. You can't fuck with me. That shit is evident. I'm walking around with 2 straps for the hell of it. Black 9 and Chrome 40. Mayweather and McGregor shit. One's good for 12 rounds. The other got a better kick.
A bit of a different environment for you, a bigger event, a Born Legacy Supreme, but also on stage rather than in the pit. Do you have to sort of acclimatize to this, or?
Yeah, it's different. I learned a whole lot from that footage. It's easier to rap in a small room for someone like me. But I'm still happy with the battle, how it came out, and I have a lot of not new strategy, but like I feel like my next battle on a big stage, which will be my next one, you're gonna see me really have it perfected at that point because of seeing the footage and breaking it down and talking about people and seeing what I feel like I could do better. It was all good.
Yeah. I remember hearing the recap when this event went down, because it went down quite a while ago, but this battle just came out about a week or so ago or whatever, of Born Legacy Supreme. And they were saying, because the event itself, I think, was a little bit of a letdown, some of the battles were either a bit one-sided or, I mean, you think, obviously, JC Chess, Mike P versus Big T wasn't that great anyway, sort of thing. And they were pointing, I don't know if you read, they were saying, like, Franchise versus Joe was probably the battle of the night.
Yeah, the event was a little, like you said, like I thought Remedy and Chef Trez was real one-sided, and Twerk and Ill Will was a dope battle. I mean, they haven't dropped it still.
Yeah,
that was a good one right there. I like that. I mean, that's a good one. That one and ours were the two best back and forth. Was what people were saying.
Yeah. And and I mean, franchise, obviously KOTD hailing, but now on URL. He quotes Project X, which is quite an obscure movie at the start of his first stuff, The Little Man in the Oven, and he says that's kind of quoting from the Holmesy battle, which is nice.
Yeah, I've never seen Project X.
No, I'd seen it years ago by chance, so I was just a bit like, okay,
I didn't catch that one, but you can kind of put it together what he was talking about.
Sure. And I mean, there's a few things with franchise that kind of concepts I've maybe heard before, and it's It's a bit of a shame. I mean, they put the bar in the trailer, i.e., you know, the bar to sell the battle on his part, the Mojo Jojo bar. He must have been aware that Holmesy had said it to you before.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm just like, because I don't look at franchise as somebody who would take a bar blatantly, but it's like he had to have watched me versus Holmesy in preparation for the battle, I would think.
Yeah.
And that was one of Holmesy's biggest reactions.
Yeah,
you know? So, and it was the same. It was almost for word on the punch. So I don't know. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe he forgot. I don't know. I mean, it's a dope line, but you know, I heard it. That's why you'll see me on stage like, yo, that's Holmesy. Like that's not. Because the crowd was going nuts, and I'm like, shit, like, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, perhaps he didn't, but it's just interesting, as you say, it was like Holmesy's biggest reaction, so it's not just like a Holmesy sleeper line or whatever, but I mean, you know, regardless, he has good movement, you know, he has good energy on the stage, but I think ultimately you have the writing, you know, and the franchise flips, especially in the first, the Kardashian and the Five Rings Dynasty, I mean, they get huge reactions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think I like flipping names, and I thought those two were strong. I was like, I like to start off with a good one, you know. So I thought the Kardashian would get me rocking, and it did. They liked it, so I was, you know, first 4 bars, I got to get some reaction so I can get the crowd, you know. It also calms my nerves a little bit too when the crowd reacts. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. How do you feel? Like, because obviously these are bigger stages each time you're battling. Like, beforehand, is it adrenaline? Is it nerves? What is it?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. Not really. Honestly, my thing, if I'm nervous, it's just because I want to make sure I get all my material off right. I'm not nervous to lose. I'm not nervous to perform. I just want to make sure I don't, because there's been situations before where I know something so well, I can say it backwards, but then you just forget it in the moment. It's like, shit, like, you can't over prepare. You can only do so much. So it's like, just don't let my brain fail me on this stage. You know, don't let me slip up, because I don't, you know, that's if I'm nervous, it's because of that. It's just like, don't let me slip up, please. Let me get all this off. That's all I care about.
And I don't know if he was there at the Holmesy battle, but it must have been awesome to be battling in front of Smack as well.
It was. That was the first time I've met Smack, spoken to Smack, anything. So yeah, to battle in front of him was like, oh, okay, this is the real deal now. Yeah,
and he's got a huge smile on his face during your round. He's loving it.
Yeah, I did notice that. He seemed to really enjoy it, you know, the material, which was, again, you don't see it when you're battling, but watching the footage, I'm like, damn, Smack's really fucking with it.
Yeah, he loves it, man. And I mean, you have almost a bar, and I mean this in a positive sense, because I love him. It feels like a bit of a Danny Myers bar, the whole quick incision in one temple and out the other, like a Switch Religions.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote that whole setup, and honestly, I didn't even start off with that line that I wrote. I started off with, I think the first line of that sequence I thought of was the X-ray technician line, and I just started building on it. You know, what rhymes with technician, incision, this and that. And so I just made it like I think it was like 6 bars in a row. So it came to that. But I was happy. I liked that punch a lot. I thought it got the reaction it deserved. Yeah.
It's a really, really good first. I mean, franchise is second. You mentioned Total Slaughter. That we sort of started on. It's a little bit shorter from him. He talks of history and stuff like that. Again, you come with the punches in the second. 2 bars I liked in particular. I liked Bird put you on the wall, now you're a shadow puppet.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, I like that one.
And then I saw Tay-Rock quote this bar, machine buck in the middle of a bar, that's a mechanical bull.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one, how I was going to react. Cause I like that line, and, you know... That's almost one of those lines that's like, it seems simple when you hear it for the first time, but it's actually got a few elements to it.
Yeah. It's
you know, that was to see Tay-Rock.
Yeah. How did that feel? Like seeing the legend like do that?
That's dope, man. I've spoke to Rock a couple times, man, and like every time he's just Tay-Rock is not only like one of the best battlers to ever live, in my opinion, but just an awesome dude. Like he's not above talking to someone who's coming up like me, you know, or you know, he stood he was standing there while I battled franchise right there. You can't see him on the camera. He was right, like the front row's cut off by the gate. He was in front of it, standing on my side, just like they're watching. Like he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
And I mean, yeah, your franchise comes with a bit more of sort of, grown man bars to a certain extent in his third. You keep punching. I mean, there's a clear sort of division, isn't there? I suppose in like the way you're going about the battles. Kind of, you're just a puncher. He can kind of go more angle based. Are you going to adapt in the future? What did you learn from the franchise battle? I guess I should be asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably adapt. To be honest with you, the third round, one mistake I made was I got cut off in the first and second before I was done. So I was taking bars I didn't get to in the first 2 rounds and just like throwing them together. I was really winging on the spot, putting them together, and I should have just gotten to my third that I had prepared. So I really didn't even get off a lot of the third I had prepared, which is fine. But like, my thing is, when I'm mic'd up on that stage, I feel like I yelled a little too much in the franchise battle. I didn't really rap as much as I screamed a lot, and I still want to have the aggression, but I definitely want to go in and out a little more, like bring it up and then bring it down. So just a little more flow and just fluidity to my rounds. It seems like a lot of it is choppy sometimes. And that comes from me not being a rapper. I'm not a rapper. I don't have any music. I don't do mixtapes. I don't do albums. I don't do any music. So I don't rap outside of battle rap. So I don't have a natural flow. You see what I'm saying? But I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah. Did you see Champion when Jay Black covered the battle?
Yeah. I saw Jay Black and Butterfly did one too.
Yeah. So I mean that was kind of Jay's angle, but I don't know. For me, Joe, it's about writing ultimately. Like rapping flow, you're not a real rapper. It's just kind of a tired angle, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I mean, the writing to me is the most important thing, and the bars are the most important thing. But I think maybe it might even make some lines hit harder if I say them differently. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm not going to come up there and make some huge changes. You're not going to see. I mean, you're still going to do what I do. I mean, I've got this far. I might as well just, I'm doing something right, obviously. But there's just a couple of minor things here and there. You always want to try to work on improving. I mean, if you don't want to get stagnant. So I've actually got a pretty big name in the rap culture who was able to take the time to help me out with some of this stuff, on some of the flow and some of the delivery stuff. So, got me a little coach on that. Pretty cool. All
right, cool. And I mean, obviously that was your most recent battle. So going forward, are you looking to battle regularly, or as regularly as URL allows, or?
I'm looking to battle only on URL. I'm not gonna, take the route where I start traveling around and doing battles. I don't. And this is not said in any kind of way, but I don't need the money.
Sure.
I mean, everyone needs the money, but I have a career outside battle rap. So I battle rap I almost want to say for fun. I enjoy it. And the fact that I'm on URL is it's just fucking wild to me. It's crazy. It wasn't ever supposed to happen. So now it's like, I'm just going to stick with URL. I don't need to battle often. I 3-4 times a year is fine with me. I don't want to oversaturate myself and put, I don't want fans to get tired of me. So I'd rather be in demand. So it's looking like probably next Born Legacy I'll be on that one.
Okay.
And the goal after that is no, man. I want to get on.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not, man?
I mean, keep shooting. I'm gonna keep trying to progress now. I mean, I want to do Summer Madness one day. I mean, I'm not going to stop now. I mean, I love this shit now. I mean, it's a big part of my life. So.
Yeah. But I think fans love you. Like, clearly there's a lot of affection towards the style that you're putting out there, and I think that would be great to see on those bigger stages. I mean, we don't need to give away the opponent, but have you got someone like locked for next year, or?
Yeah, I've got someone locked.
Okay.
And it's a very good opponent. And as far as I never thought I would say this sentence in my life, but I've got great fans, man. I really do. Like, the people who really fuck with me and support me and message me, like, they're awesome, man. And I feel like Smack, me and Smack spoke after the battle, and I feel like I do bring a new demographic of fans to URL. I'm the white dude next door type person. Don't look like he can get on stage and do that.
Yeah.
And it might be inspiring to some people who are like, I wish I could battle rap. I wish I could rap, but I don't really look the part. I'm not really fitting into the culture. No, if you could rap, you can rap. Just do it. It's cool. If I can inspire someone to do that, it's dope to me.
Yeah. And I mean, in the future, who are some dream opponents that you battle?
Rum Nitty.
Oh,
Yeah, Rum
that'd be
Nitty,
sick.
man. That's my favorite battle rapper.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Yes,
Man.
I want to battle Rum Nitty. I want to battle Av.
Av, yeah.
Yeah. Shit, those are probably the top two.
Yeah. Those are, yeah, you can't do
because
they
they punch. They're super creative punchers, and that's what I feel like I am too. So those are just battles that I feel like they can happen in the future if I just keep progressing. You know.
Definitely, man. Definitely. We'll wrap up with just a few quick fire questions. Just top of the head start stuff. What your favorite URL battle?
Rum Nitty versus Av.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty obvious there, but yeah.
Close second being conceded in Sioux Surf.
Oh, what a battle! What a battle! Yeah, that's a sick battle. I mean, I appreciate you. Do you have a favorite Don't Flop battle? Do you watch Don't Flop at all, or?
I've seen a few, man, but it's been a while. And
Sure.
to be honest with you, I off the top of my head, I feel bad because the audience is listening like, damn, this dude. But you know, after this, I'm gonna start watching more, man. I've always just watched Smack. You know, I've always just watched URL. But I definitely need to start broadening my horizons a little bit. So,
no, I'll send you some Shocks battles after this. I think
yeah,
you'll like
that sounds good.
I'm pretty certain you'll like him. What about King of the Dot? Do you ever favorite King of the Dot battle?
Yeah, let me think about this. I really like Pat Stay and Howl of the Dog.
Oh man, yeah.
King of the Dot battles. There's a lot of. I like Disaster and DNA, man.
Oh, come on, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one, honestly.
Yeah. The first one, not the rematch. The rematch was a bit weird.
Yeah.
If anyone said the rematch over the first one, yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck? But so final two questions, non-battle rap related. The first one, what's your favorite film, Joe?
Oh, probably The Wolf of Wall Street.
Nice.
Yeah.
No one said that before. Good choice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a fucking dope movie. And finally, what is your favorite musical band or artist that aren't in any way hip hop related?
Blink-182.
Blink-182.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
man.
I like them a lot, man.
Okay.
I still listen to them.
Yeah, me too, man. It's such fun, energetic, great memories.
Yeah.
So I guess finally, how do people get at you? Like your Twitter, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram. It's Dopest Minds Joe. That's the name of my team, man. There's 3 of us. All coming up in this shit. I got my 2 boys they're about to get on Smack too, I feel like. So, you know, Dopest Minds Joe. Find me on Instagram and Twitter, same name.
All right, sweet, man. Well, Joe, this has been a treat, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's been awesome, man. I really appreciate you having me.